Hello everyone, and in this video, I am going to give you a single core rotation that you can use for all three playstyle of Yinlin, that is off-field Sub Dps, Quickswap Dps, and main DPS. I will also cover the optimal rotation and echo builds for these playstyles. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's start with the core rotation or setup. I will use the Yinlin Varina team as an example. You can use any other DPS in place of Yin, and Varina can be replaced by other supports like Yinlin of Baiji. Personally, I like Yinlin for the last slot a lot because of her crowd control, which makes it much easier to apply the mark in multi-target situations. But since most of us have Varina, I will use her. First fill Varina's Concerto Energy Bar, and then intro to Yinlin. This intro is important as it gives a considerable amount of 4-day circuit stacks to Yinlin. Then I use her Echo and swap cancel into Jian. Then go back to Yinlin, use skill, and if you are up against a single enemy, use her ultimate skill. Do 2 basic attacks. Swap cancel the second skill cast by going to Jian and use his Echo skill and swap cancel it by going to Yinlin. Use 1 or 2 basic attacks to apply the Sinner's Mark and fill the 4-day circuit. Use the 4-day heavy attack and swap cancel to Jian. The 4-day heavy attack will change the Sinner's Mark to Punishment Mark. If you are up against multiple enemies, you would want to use the ultimate before the 4-day circuit heavy attack so that you can apply the Sinner's Mark to all the enemies. So after using the skill, I skip the ultimate skill and do 2 basic attacks. Then swap cancel the second part of the skill by going to Jian. Use his Echo and swap cancel to Yinlin. Then I use Yinlin's ultimate, and by now the 4-day circuit should be ready. Use the heavy attack and swap cancel to Jian to do his rotation. Then after his rotation ends, go back to Varina and repeat your rotations. This is like the core rotation of Yinlin. This initial setup works for every role. For off-field Yinlin, you just stay off-field with her after applying the mark for the rest of the rotation and let your DPS benefit from the outrow buff. Well, Jian here doesn't benefit from the outrow buff because he doesn't do electro or liberation damage, but he can take benefit of the off-field attacks as he is not good for a quickswap playstyle. Someone like Calcharo's damage will go up by a lot from this buff, as he can take full benefit of her massive electro and resonance liberation damage deepen outrow skill buff. For off-field Sub Dps / buffer Yinlin, using the Moonlit Echo set with the Heron skill is better, as we won't be taking full advantage of Yinlin's damage potential, so it would be better to buff the main DPS instead. Next is the Quickswap playstyle. As I mentioned earlier, the initial rotation for applying the punishment mark stays the same. In Quickswap playstyle, you don't care about the outrow skill, and for every skill that can be swap cancelled, you go back to Yinlin to use her resonance skill, Echo skill, basic attacks, or liberation, and swap cancel those attacks by going back to the main DPS. For example, if you are using Calcharo, his Death Messenger can be swap cancelled, so you go to Yinlin during his Death Messenger window. For Encore, her Resonance skill or the 4-day circuit heavy attack can be swap cancelled. You can check out my complete Encore or Calcharo guide for more details on their builds and playstyles. Calcharo has a pretty long animation for his Death Messenger attack, which makes him vulnerable to enemies' attack. Although he can deal higher damage with pure off-field DPS Yinlin and in-game content, quick swapping becomes crucial for his survival. Less DPS is better than dead DPS. For the Quickswap playstyle, the Void Thunder set with Tempest Maphis is better as we will be squeezing out more damage from Yinlin by constantly swapping into her. Moonlit is great as well if you don't have good Void Thunder echoes. Moonlit set with bad echoes is better than the Void Thunder set with bad echoes. Now moving on to the main DPS playstyle. Yinlin is not the best suited for this playstyle, but you can still use her as a main DPS if you want to give more field time to her. Yinlin has a lot of animations that can be swap cancelled. Her 3rd or 4th basic attack animations can be swap cancelled as well, so using her with a hybrid DPS would be a better option. You can run someone like Encore, Jinshin, Havoc Rover with Dreamless or Mortify to switch in between Yinlin's quickswap windows to quickly deal some damage. I am not sure if any other characters will work. If you know any, do let me know in the comments. The initial setup stays the same to apply the punishment mark. You swap between Yinlin and the hybrid DPS after Varina's outrow, and after that for every swap cancel window. You go to the second DPS and deal some quick damage. As I mentioned earlier, you can also swap cancel the 3rd or 4th basic attack hit of Yinlin. So during skill downtime, you can do 3 or 4 basic attacks and swap cancel into your second DPS. For Echo build, it's either the Void Thunder set or the Lingering Tunes. If you are quick swapping a lot, it would be better to use a mixture of Void Thunder or Lingering Tunes than going for 5-piece Lingering Tunes. And with this, I will end this video. I hope it was helpful. You can check out my other guides linked in the description. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.